Joining us now, my friend, Governor Bob McDonnell. Governor, how are you, sir?
Hey, Laura, great to be on with you. How are you? Happy New Year.
I love having you on all this breaking news, Gov. It's fun.
Well, I don't know how you schedule that in conjunction with all these other announcements, Laura. You do a great job. You know stuff nobody else does.
Yeah, well, Governor, first of all, we have to get into this Keystone deal with you because it's just it gives fodder to those people who believe that there are people in the Obama administration who are trying to tank the economy and trying to keep jobs from being created. We'll get into that in just a moment. But your friend Rick Perry drops out of the race just a few moments ago. It broke. The story broke. And now he is set to endorse Newt Gingrich. Does that change your thinking on and when you said that a current or former governor should be the standard bearer for this conservative movement?
Oh, Rick Perry's a great governor. He and I compete regularly for who's going to be the best job creator, and he's beat me, I beat him, but he's a great leader. He's a man of deep principle and faith, and I respected the way he handled things during the course of the campaign, and I guess he just felt that the traction just wasn't there. I'm surprised. I thought he would stay in through the South Carolina vote, but Rick knows when I think that his decision needs to be made. So. Anyway, for me, I will now evaluate what I should do next. I have said, when I look at the abysmal leadership in Washington with this president, that the kinds of things we need are people who are decisive, who won't make excuses, who will lead, especially on fiscal issues and job creation issues. That's what governors do. We have to balance budgets, and so I've always been predisposed to a governor, current, or former. So I'm going to reassess today. I did not know until just a few minutes ago that Rick was dropping out, so I'll do an assessment today.
And when you heard or saw clips, if you didn't watch the entire debate on Tuesday, it startled and concerned a lot of people. And I like Mitt Romney a lot. I've endorsed him in 2008. But of course, we're thinking about how this general election is going to go down, given what we're seeing from the Obama machine already. Charles Krauthammer on Fox a couple of nights ago, Governor, again, I don't think he's any big fan of Newt Gingrich's, but he said this.
He simply doesn't have the capacity to explain with some color and sort of force conservative ideas. He's a businessman. He looks like he's chairing a meeting of the board. He's a competent guy.
But he basically said he's not the one to make the conservative closing argument on key issues. What do you think of his assessment?
Well, I disagree with it some. I think Mitt Romney has been surprisingly passionate about the American dream, about the free enterprise system, about why we're the hope of the earth, about his love for Reagan and espousing those principles. And he also is the guy that I think has an excellent chance toe-to-toe with Obama on the key issues, spending and jobs. That's what this election is all about, getting the greatest country on the earth solvent and productive again. And so I think on jobs, on energy, on a number of things, I think he's been a great defender of the free enterprise system. So I would disagree with that, and I think Mr. Ronald Reagan said, if you agree with me 80% of the time, you're my friend. and I think for us conservatives, it's certainly at least 80% with Governor Romney. And
what about the tax return issue? What about the tax return issue? Even his surrogate, Chris Christie, looked exasperated on the Today Show yesterday, saying these things have to be released. And now it's offshore Cayman Islands holdings, which again I don't think there's any problem with that because it's well within the limits of the law, and he's doing what capitalists do. He's using his money to make more money. So I don't have a problem with that. But nevertheless, the handling of this issue of the tax returns, do you think it's been done well?
Well, it didn't seem like his best answer, I have to say, in the debate the other night. I mean, you ought to set a date and do it in accordance with the protocols of the past. So that's a question for him, but he just needs to be clear and decisive, a date certain, and just do it. But believe me, I think there's plenty of fodder probably with President Obama as well. He is certainly not a poor man. So I just think but these issues of class warfare that the Democrats and the Obama administration will likely pursue are really beneath the dignity of the American people. We ought to be talking about how we get more people successful and wealthy and have access to the American dream and not attack people who've made it.
And the dirty politics nature of so much of this is it turns people off, yet it also captures individuals' attention, right, when they're busy with their lives. And so now this Marianne Gingrich's interview coming out tonight on ABC. Your take on this type of late hit against Gingrich?
Well, it's not surprising. I hate to see this. You remember the election with George Bush, where you had the 11th hour DUI revelation. I mean, it just seems to be a part of politics that is a constant reality. It's the gotcha part of politics. And Laura, you made a great point. Most people right now, especially the independent voters that determine the outcome of every election, you know what they want? They want government just to work right, work efficiently, not waste their money, solve problems, and then stay out of their life. And that's where most people are. And so all of this gotcha politics here, I think, is really, again, beneath the dignity of the American people. Just give us the solutions. Tell us what you can do to make our life better and how you're going to follow the Constitution, protect our liberties, and make our life better. That's what people ought to be talking about, a positive, uplifting message. That's why people love Reagan.
Would you be comfortable with either Newt or Mitt as the nominee at this point?
Sure, I think they could both beat Obama. I think they both are good advocates for our free enterprise system, and they both have specific solutions on jobs, on the economy, on eliminating the national debt, on foreign policy, and on energy. I mean, that's what these elections are going to be about, and I think either one of them would do well.
Governor Bob McDonnell's with us on the Laura Ingraham Show, governor of the great Commonwealth of Virginia. Governor, the president sent shockwaves through not just the energy sector, but through, I think, the working class of the United States yesterday with this decision to say no to the Keystone Pipeline. Your take?
That's a horrible decision, Laura. I mean, to me, it was a political decision, just like pulling the rug on offshore drilling for Virginia and a number of these other decisions. I think it's to appease his left-wing environmental base, but at the same time, he has stomped on the desires of middle-class America and, frankly, some of the labor unions. I mean, this was a 1,700-mile pipeline from Canada to Texas, which, by the way, happened to run through a lot of Republican governors' states. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but we're talking so much about wanting to reduce American dependence on foreign sources of oil and be energy independent and create jobs. This is just the opposite. It's delay, it's obfuscation to appease his left-wing environmental base. And it's a horrific decision, but it's consistent, Laura, with what I see them doing. They're against coal. They've fought fracking for natural gas. They will not create a suitable storage facility for nuclear energy waste. Now they're killing the pipeline. They don't want offshore drilling. Laura, that's 95% of American energy electricity generation. They don't want. I mean, it's a horrific policy, and it's one more reason why we need a new president.
The president actually sent out a fundraising appeal last night invoking his decision to kill the Keystone Pipeline.
I think that says it all. It's politics. It's horrible policy. It will kill jobs, and it's just more evidence of why over the most of the term of this president we've had an unemployment rate above 9%. We do things a little bit differently in Virginia. We're almost down to 6%, and that's why we need a new president.
Do you think, Governor, conservatives do enough of talking to kind of the other side? I mean, not just Democrats, but going into places and areas where they might not necessarily find all friendly audiences. Because I was just thinking about this the other day and how the Republican Party allows itself to be defined by the lamestream media. And it seems that you've done a fairly good job in Virginia of engaging different points of view. And it seems to me that the conservatives hold their principles firm, but go out and do a better job of educating people on these issues, so they're not getting their viewpoints only from the lamestream media.
No, that is an excellent point. In fact, it is the defining question for the future of the conservative movement as we look at demographic and other changes projected over the next 10, 20, 30 years in America. We have got to do a better job translating our conservative message and our traditional values, principles, into the practical solutions that appeal to a much broader cross-section of America. I think that our ideas are better. I don't care if you're rich, poor, black, white, native-born, or foreign-born immigrant, or whatever. Our ideas on jobs, small business, fiscal responsibility, traditional values are the best. But we don't explain that right. We do get branded and labeled by the left, and some of those labels stick. We have to do much better. We've tried to do that in Virginia with a significant amount of sit-down outreach. And, Laura, sometimes it's just as simple as listening, engaging, and seeing where there's common ground without compromising your principles. If we don't do that, we have long-term systemic challenges for our party.
Yeah, I was going back on YouTube, Governor, and I was watching some of Reagan's old debates from the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. There wasn't a place he wouldn't go to argue the conservative message and advocate for conservative principles. And he got a lot of grief for it, but he won a lot of respect. And it seems to me that if we have Republicans out there, maybe coming up through the ranks, who are concerned about going on Rachel Maddow's show, or concerned that she's going to get the better of him or her in a sit down, then we have real problems. We have to be able to engage with these people. It doesn't mean you're going to convince her, but it means you're going to probably be a stronger advocate across the board to people who don't really know what conservatism even is.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Laura. That's exactly right. You see if you can get Rachel to set that up for me?
Yeah. I will send her a note, for sure. But you know what I mean, Governor? I mean, I'm kind of hurting myself by saying this, because obviously I want you to come on shows like this, but I think people like you, who are I think the future of this conservative movement, I just think do that work now, and it really pays off in the end. I really believe it. And anyway, that's just a thought. Governor, we love having you on, and I'm a fan, and I sound like a hopeless suck-up, but we really appreciate and I'm not a fan of most people in politics, as you know. So when I'm a fan of yours, that's actually, you must be doing something right.
Hey, well, you're nice to say that. We're just trying to fix problems, get stuff done, bring people together. There's plenty of division in this country. We're trying to tone down the rhetoric, stick to our guns, but fix problems and get results. It's working for us in Virginia. We had $1 billion in surplus. We got unemployment down to 6%, and generally people are working together. So anyway, you're nice to say all that, Laura.
Good
Great
stuff.
to be on your show. I'm a fan too. And,
all right, Governor, and you're gonna endorse Gingrich when?
Stay tuned. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Take care. We'll take a break.